Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. I am so excited for today's episode. It is actually a live that I did on my Instagram that you guys absolutely freaking loved. It is you are one post away from absolutely skyrocketing your business. I hope this gives you the motivation, the inspiration you need to know that consistency and the power of compounding your skills over time is really what makes you successful. Stay in the game, keep going. You have no idea when your freaking reality is going to change and you are going to take off. And that is the most exciting thing about this life. Enjoy. You are one post away from skyrocketing your business. You are one post away from absolutely taking off. How do I know this? Because I've seen it time and time again with my clients. That they're like, nothing's happening. It's not working. The algorithm hates me. It's impossible to grow on Instagram anymore. It can work for her, but it's never going to happen for a girl like me. Right? And then what happens? They decide to keep posting, and they absolutely take off. You have no idea when your next big break is going to be. You can't decide, right? You have no idea when your life is going to change overnight. But you do have control over the habits that you take every day in order to ensure that that's going to happen for you. Because here's the truth. I need all of you guys to know this because when this clicked for me, everything changed. So many times we're doing the right stuff. We're just doing way too little of it. Alex Hormozi says that volume times time, LOL, volume times time equals skill, right? And this makes complete effing sense. And I'm going to share today a story that really blew my effing mind about keep going, keep posting. You don't know when your next reel, your next TikTok, your next YouTube short is absolutely going to take off. And it's going to change everything for you and your business, right? When we decide that something's not working, that's like saying, I've been going to the gym for 7 days this week, but like doing cardio doesn't help you lose weight. That's scientific. That's absolutely proven that cardio will help you lose weight, right? But you just have not stuck to it long enough. You haven't put in the reps in the gym in order to see the weight loss. But if you kept going, if you turn that 1 week into 3 months of you going to the gym, I guarantee if your diet's right, if everything else is in line, that you're going to see that weight loss, right? And it's the same thing with your business and with posting and taking off. So this story really blew my effing mind, right? I saw this TikTok, right, about this creator who was actually banned from TikTok. It was someone else interviewing him. And he was banned from TikTok. And so he decided to take his talents elsewhere. And he went to YouTube Shorts. And it's not like he went to YouTube Shorts and then overnight he blew up. No. He uploaded 600 YouTube Shorts until it clicked. And then on the 600th YouTube short, it went absolutely effing viral, right? It got over 1 million views of the video. And he ended up gaining 270,000 subscribers overnight, right? Why did this happen? Because he kept going. He didn't give excuses, right? We all do this. I was guilty of this. What kind of YouTube shorts he did? The TikToks didn't even say, right? It wasn't even about, that's missing the concept. It wasn't about what kind of YouTube shorts. It was about the fact that he kept going until he found the formula that clicked for him, right? And so what happened, right, was that he didn't give excuses. He didn't say, TikTok isn't letting me on their platform. I'm just going to stop posting. No, he said, TikTok isn't letting me on their platform. I'm going to go to YouTube Shorts and I'm going to wait until I explode. Yes, my love. You're getting it. Yes, I love it. And so same thing with Instagram. I see this time and time again. Like I said, I've done this in the past. I did this a year ago where I was like, my algorithm, my videos aren't being shown, my story views aren't good, blah, blah, blah. And I was excuse after excuse until something just hit me. And I said, what would my next level self do? And I was like, my next level self would not complain and use excuses as why I'm not growing. My next level self would find the solution. And when I asked myself what the solution was, it was restart your podcast, right? Go on a different platform. Go on YouTube. Go on YouTube Shorts. Go on TikTok, right? There is always a solution to your problem. That's why we are entrepreneurs. And so when that happened, I was in control again. Because you cannot have excuses and success at the same time. They don't go together, right? And so what happened is I would take one piece of content that I was already done and I would upload it to 2 different platforms, 3, 4, right? I can upload this IG Live to my podcast and get more views. And I was creating the same amount of content, but I was getting triple the views and I didn't have to worry about the algorithm anymore. Because guess what? There's always going to be an algorithm in your business. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be something that you can't control, but there's always going to be other variables that you can't. So I want you to ask yourself, where are you making excuses? Where are you saying, this is controlling my success? How can you take back your power and find the solution around it? Because those are the people who succeed, right? Michael Jordan got cut from his varsity high school team, right? But he didn't make it mean that he wasn't going to be the greatest of all time. He didn't let him getting cut from his team mean he wasn't going to practice anymore. Mean he wasn't going to put time into his skill, right? He knew who he was. He didn't need a high school team to decide who he was. You know who you are. You know where you're going. You know that people are going to recognize you one day. You're going to blow up on social media and you're going to go be the go-to person for XYZ. How do I know that? Because I believe in you. But all you need is your belief in yourself. Everyone who has started, other than I would say like celebrity babies, right, has started in the same position that you are right now. Oh, I'm so happy this is making you cry, Bianca. Heart. But everyone who has been where you are currently, who is, further along, whether that be, Michael Jordan or J.K. Rowling or Jeff Bezos, I always talk about them. They started with nothing. They built this community up. So many of my clients and my audience is like, well, you have 20,000 followers. I started with 0. I came on this platform making the grossest, shittiest content ever. But I decided that even though I was making that content, I was building my skill, I was getting better, and one day people would notice. And for 3 months, it was really slow, right? The first month, I was posting 3 times a day and people were not noticing. And I could have gave up. I was like, I'm just hearing crickets, right? But I decided what I wanted for my life. And so literally month 2, it was like a snowball effect. My content started taking off and I started gaining followers at a rapid speed. But this happened because I decided my reality. I would get on my stories and I would say, everyone's going to be listening to what I have to say. Even when my mom was it was just me and my mom and that was it. And now it's me and my mom and 20,000 of you, right? But I didn't make the fact that I had to start from 0 mean that I wouldn't get where I was going. I decided it on my own. And I want you to decide that too. I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care how many reels you have to post, how many lives you have to do, how many podcasts. But I want you to make a promise to me that you're going to do it. That you're going to show up every day, day in, day out, no matter how many days in a row that you're not getting the views that you want. Because you know that one day, everyone's going to figure out what you've already figured out about yourself. that you are going places and they're going to wish they followed you sooner because you will be where you say you're going to be, right? And so just because people haven't discovered you yet doesn't mean you haven't discovered yourself. You know who you are. You know who you are when no one's watching, and you're going to remember who you are when everyone's watching, right? And so once you get rid of the excuses of, the algorithm, this person's better than me, that no one's better than you, right? They're just doing something over and over again while you're giving into the excuses. So the last story I want to tell is my client who joined my signature program, Dream Business Accelerator. Her goal was to gain 500 followers by the end of our 7 months of working together. In DBA, you actually get 6 months of group coaching and you get the signature course. And she sent me a message after our one-on-one call. You get a one-on-one call on DBA. And she was like, I'm really stuck at 160 followers, even though she was posting every single day, right? And she was really disheartened. And we all get that way, right? We're like, why is no one watching? I know this content's good. Like, what is going on? And so what we did, right, because she was posting every day, is we decided to tweak things. So yes, you need to post every single day, but sometimes you also need to tweak your skill, right? Obviously, Michael Jordan was good at basketball to some extent, but he wasn't good enough for varsity. So we had to take him, he had to practice a lot more, just like you have to practice with your content a lot more until you really get it and hone that skill. And so what we did when she was stuck at 160 followers is we got crystal clear on her messaging, right? We got clear on who she served, who she was speaking to, their pleasure and their pain. And she really spoke to one specific person, right? She spoke to, so people were like, oh my God, she's talking to me. And we teach you how to do your messaging in DBA. There's a whole module on it. Messaging is needed for your content, your stories, your programs. Messaging really is the heart of your business. And so we go deep in it in DBA. And 2, we created a consistent posting strategy, right? We created a strategy for growth, but that would also convert her audience so that when she did grow, they would also convert into her programs. Because what's the point of having an audience if you can't, convert them and help them change their lives? We are in the business of changing lives, and you can't change lives if people aren't going to pay you, right? And so we created a consistent posting schedule that was also found in DBA, growth content plus content that converts. Lastly, my favorite is her energy behind it, right? Instead of saying it's not working, she really decided that what she had to say mattered, right? So when she posted, she thought thoughts of like, this is incredible, instead of thinking thoughts of like, who's actually going to want to see this, right? We got rid of the limiting beliefs, and she really used manifestation to skyrocket everything that was happening. Oh, good. I teach this heavily in DBA. And why I teach manifestation heavily is because that's the exact same thing that I used to grow my account, right? I would say affirmations like, I grow 100 followers a day when I was talking to no one, right? All my videos go viral. I'm, increasing rapidly, and there's a whole module actually on manifesting followers in DBA because I believe in manifestation so much. And that's why I really think that I 10x my growth against my, competitors, even though I don't believe that anyone's your competitor and we can all win in this industry and everyone should be, pushing each other up and women should be supporting women. But anyways, so those are the 3 things we did, and guess what happened? She went from 160 followers to one of her reels went absolutely viral overnight, getting over 1.5 million views. And what happened, right? She went from 400 followers, or she went from 160 followers to over 2,000 followers, like seemingly overnight. It's probably in a week's time. And on top of that, because of the strategy we implemented from DBA of not only growth, but converting her followers, right? She had a growth strategy, but also content that converts. People are now in her inbox saying, how can I work with you, right? She has floods of people in her inbox being like, how can I work with you? So not only did she grow, but she's also getting ideal clients into her inbox, right? And this can happen for you if you just keep freaking going, right? So my last story, I was lying, I had one more, and we're so proud of her, Dakota. I just want to give her a shout out, but that is really, signifies everything, that a client who really gets those results does. She invested in herself, right? She moved. She showed up. She took the action day in and day out, even when she wasn't seeing what she wanted to see in her reality. And then because of that, she ended up, snowballing effect, having people in her inbox asking to work with her, and her followers skyrocket, right? That's what happens when you get in the room. So the last story I want to tell you guys about when I was on TikTok and I actually decided to stop posting. And I think this is a really great story because if you feel like you're not growing anywhere, but you're like, I'm not growing on these platforms, how am I going to get followers? This is for you. Or how am I going to get clients? This is for you. So I was on TikTok for a couple months and I saw like no real growth, right? I have under 500 followers, and my views on my TikToks are usually like, around 200. And so I find this really interesting because I, at one point, was like, just like everyone else, I was like, I'm going to give up. What is the point of putting my videos on TikTok if no one's watching them, right? If they're not growing. And I really decided that, right? I was like, there's no point. And so what happened next shocked me. I got an application for one-on-one coaching. And when I talked to her in the DMs, I was like, oh my gosh, I just received your application for one-on-one coaching. I would love to hear like how you found me. And she was like, I found you off TikTok. And I was going to stop posting on TikTok because I decided that it wasn't working. I had only 400 followers and I was getting under 200 story views. But I forgot the most important lesson of all is if I put 400 people in a room and I pitched to them, imagine how many people are in that room, right? 100 people watching one video, that's 100 people in a room watching what you have to say, right? That's not nothing, that's huge. You should be grateful for that, right? And so just because the algorithm doesn't pick your video doesn't mean it's not good content, right? Just because the algorithm didn't let that go viral for who knows why, maybe it was the trending music, the hashtags, who knows, doesn't mean that your content's not good, right? It just means that you have to keep going. Alex Earl is posting the same stuff that she posted a year ago that wasn't getting any traction until it blew up and people figured out about her, right? She didn't change up her content. And so you know what's so cool about that? You are probably doing everything right. You're just doing too little of it. And so what ended up happening with that client? She joined DBA from my TikTok. She joined my signature program, DBA, and I wanted to stop posting on TikTok. And so I want you to remember, your value is from within, right? I love the analogy that like a water in a grocery store costs $1 versus a water in an airport costs $10, right? It's the same water, but they decide the worth. And so your reel on one platform might not do good, but you put that same TikTok on TikTok, or you put that same video on YouTube Shorts, and it might blow up, right? And so I want you to just remember, just because the algorithm doesn't pick your video doesn't mean that it's not good and your ideal client isn't watching it saying, I want to sign up with her. So I love you guys so much. If you want to know how I attract my soulmate clients to me, I actually have a free training for you guys. So just comment clients and I'll send you the free training. If you want to join my free scripting challenge, which is my free manifestation challenge, just write manifestation. I'll get you in the broadcast channel. And that's basically how I manifested my house, my old apartment, my last job, free trips, clients, you name it. I'm obsessed, but I love you guys so much. I really, really, really hope this live made you realize that you're probably doing the right thing. And if you're not, then join DBA. We'll fix all your stuff. We'll fix your messaging, right? We'll fix your energy. We'll fix your content strategy, all those things. But at the end of the day, everything is just volume times time equals skill, right? Everyone starts somewhere. Decide where you're going. Decide you're going to do anything to get there and that you are just working on your skills. I love you so much. Let me know if this resonated with you. And I can't wait till you message me and tell me that post literally changed your life and you skyrocketed. Remember, your next post might be the reason that your business explodes. I love you.